so complicated. And this is my life, and I was raised in this. It's still complicated. I'm still lost.
Have you guys seen how Paedon Brown is just going after his family? And honestly, it's kind of hilarious. I mean, he has no problem talking about how much he hates polygamy.
Just to be very clear, yes, polygamy has affected me. I exist because of polygamy. Yes, polygamy has heavily affected my life and existence. Thank you for asking.
And that he is just straight up not allowed to talk about Meri.
Reasons for everything.
What does that mean?
I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay.
There's some things I choose not to say. There's some things my mom has told me not to say. And I, out of love and respect and fear, I don't say things she tells me not to.
And then he also posted a video where he appeared to be drinking and driving a car. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up, you guys. So let's start with his hatred for polygamy. I don't think it's a secret to any of us that none of the Brown kids have plans to live a plural marriage life like their parents did.
I don't think any of my siblings will live plural marriage. It's not for us. It's never been for us. We've all known for a very long time.
But Paedon took it a whole step further when he went off about the bizarre lifestyle he was raised in on Instagram Live, and honestly, it kind of seemed like a dig at his dad, Cody. Someone asked Paedon if he planned to be in a plural marriage in the future, and he said absolutely not. But he even said that he's known that plural marriage wasn't right since he was about 5 years old.
I've known since I was like 5 years old. This seems wrong and weird, which is deep for a 5-year-old to know.
I mean, you're barely even aware of anything when you're 5 years old, and Paedon supposedly already knew that his parents' marriage and family structure just flat out didn't make sense. And it's honestly just kind of sad because, I mean, I can't even imagine what he saw as a child and what he watched his mom go through that made him realize this so young. But more than anything, it tells me one thing. The Brown family has been full of crap this entire time. I mean, they've spent decades trying to convince us all that plural marriage worked great for them, and they even wrote about how involved the entire family was in their book years ago when the kids were growing up and how they were one big happy family. But if Paedon could tell at age 5 that that wasn't the case, obviously it was all smoke and mirrors. He even said that without the show his life would have been bleak because all he would have known was plural marriage. See, Paedon's only 23, but he said that if they hadn't filmed the show, he probably would already be married to his first wife and courting his second wife. And thanks to the show, the entire family was kicked out of their church, which forced them to, open up their eyes away from the world of plural marriage.
As we were kind of disowned and kind of kicked out because of the show. Like one of the reasons we left Utah to go to Vegas is we were told you need to stop creating that show and you need to let it go and leave it alone. And my dad said, no, I'm going to keep doing this. Deuces. And for several other reasons. But then we left.
But on top of that, it exposed them to so many different lives and different worlds that they never would have known outside of their small plural marriage bubble. I mean, I've got to say, I don't think Christine ever would have left Cody if people hadn't been cheering her on social media. I mean, the show completely changed the way that their lives played out, especially when it comes to plural marriage. Now, I will say he didn't completely talk bad about plural marriage, though. Like, he did say that his brothers, aka Janelle's son, are his best friends, and he even said that Janelle and Christine are a better couple than Robin and Cody. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I kind of cracked up at that one, but obviously he didn't mean that they're in a relationship. He just called them best of friends. But it is funny that after all of these years, Janelle and Christine came out with a stronger relationship than Cody and Christine. And speaking of Cody's many wives, where is Meri in all of this? Well, if there's one thing is for sure, Paedon cannot stand Meri. I mean, he hates her. He said in multiple interviews that his mom, Christine, asked him not to talk about Meri. Why? I mean, I have no idea. Who knows? But it seems to me like the only reason could be that he has nothing nice to say, which I think is probably true about most of the kids in the family. But he went even further than that on Instagram Live the other day, because he said that he actually lives very close to Meri's inn that she owns in Utah, but that he's never even visited there once. And not only has he never visited, but he claims he's never even driven by. I mean, if you want to talk about bad blood, she's still technically one of the moms that raised him, but apparently that means nothing when it comes to their relationship. They seem to be completely on the outs, and I would just love to know why. But then we have the craziest and most bizarre thing that he's done lately, and I just don't understand why or how he thought this was a good idea. I mean, honestly, you guys, I have never thought that he was that much like Cody, aside from his kind of crazy opinions sometimes, but this seems like exactly something Cody would do or would have done when he was, Paedon's age, and it's just the exact kind of crazy thing that Cody would think would rile people up. And obviously, Paedon thought the same thing, and it did. So he posted a TikTok where he was promoting a local brewery, but he made it look much worse than that. He pretended to be drinking while behind the wheel of a car, and even though he said it was root beer, it definitely did not look like it. And even worse, he used many hashtags that made it seem like he was definitely not drinking root beer. One thing that the brown kids seem to have stuck with for the most part is that they do not drink alcohol. So I do think it's safe to say he was probably actually drinking root beer in the video, but how could he promote those actions on the internet? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that is just not something to joke about in my mind. And maybe it's because he's never been exposed to drinking like as a typical 23-year-old, but how did he not realize it's just a bad idea? Or maybe he just thought, it would get people talking about his video, or maybe both. I have no idea. I don't know. But I just don't think you can make an excuse for that. Even TikTok didn't fall for it, and they actually posted a warning over his video before you could watch it. And I'm sorry, but that's when you know you shouldn't be posting that on the internet. And not only that, but he said multiple times that he's trained to be a firefighter.
I'm about to become a fireman, which I'm very excited about. Become a firefighter. That is currently the goal.
And I just can't imagine any fire station hiring him after he made a joke out of such a serious issue. I mean, really, you guys, what was he thinking? And he even brought that up on TikTok, except he blamed it on his parents and the show. And he said that because of his mom, Christine, and his dad, Cody, and the show, that whenever someone runs a background check on him, they'll have all the answers they need to know about him. But Paedon, if you are aware of this, why did you post a clip of you pretending to be drinking behind the wheel? But anyway, you guys, back to Paedon and his feelings on SisterWives. He actually brought something up that was really interesting and honestly kind of shocking considering everything we know about Cody. He said in his Instagram live that all the kids were asked if they wanted to be on the show, and they could say how much they wanted to be on the show, and they actually got paid to be on the show as kids. I mean, does that sound familiar to anyone else, or maybe unfamiliar, like the fact that Jim Bob Duggar from the Duggar family supposedly pocketed all of the money that the kids made from both of the TLC Duggar shows and told them that it was a ministry? I mean, maybe this is rude of me, but I kind of expected Cody to do the exact same thing, especially since it seemed like the show was the family's main source of income for so many years. So I'm shocked that he didn't go in the same direction as the Duggars did. And I'm also glad if there's one thing I was wrong about Cody, it was this. But anyway, you guys, what do you think of this mess? I mean, I still cannot figure out why Paedon's so vocal about his family drama all of a sudden. I mean, he did mention a SisterWives spinoff focused on the kids, so maybe it's that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would absolutely love to see it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about Paedon and all of his crazy and bizarre antics in the comments below. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.